I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is the Doctor's Guide podcast, raw and unfiltered. And I've been in the medical business for a very long time. I trained for 17 years and then been in practice for about 25 years in a field that I would call personal transformation, all physically, mentally, emotionally, as well as spiritually. But really, I started off as a plastic and reconstructive surgeon. And why do I share that with you? Well, my passion for the last 20 years is helping people get access to the process by which they can optimize their health, because I think all of us want that. And in today's world, we no longer have an excuse to be sick. And some people might be triggered by that, but that is the truth, because we have all the information, we've got these technologies out there, but more importantly, we've got these amazing individuals who are so passionate about helping you transform your life so that you can live a life by your terms and a quality of life that you desire. And so I'm honored to be introducing to you Loren and Anastasia today, and they'll share a little bit more about themselves. But what I want you to know as you're listening to us today is that there's so much information out there, it's overwhelming. And sometimes or oftentimes that context is not connected with the content. And so you're doing something that's actually, not going to work for you, or will actually have a worse outcome. And so rather than promoting a product or a person, today what we're going to do is we're going to share with you and sell you a process, totally free, of course, right? So it's a process about how to tap into your genius, your critical thinking, and make the right decisions for yourself. And how do we do that? Through role playing, because what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to relate to these two individuals as they navigate through a particular problem, reaching out for someone else to get help, to get guidance, so that they can come up with a resolution that serves them. And what I've discovered thus far in this process is that it's an amazing experience that everybody seems to have, and the listeners are getting as well, because now they have a process. Not a product, but a process to make the right decision for themselves. Because I don't know who you are. I don't know your specific problem, but I know the universal process to make change. So I want to welcome Loren, first of all, and she's going to share with us who she is, what she does, what's her magic, because she's got a lot of that. And then we'll go with Anastasia, who's been on the show before, and she's got also a ton of magic, and we'll find out more from her. Then we'll go into the problem, and then we'll do the role playing. So Loren, once again, I really appreciate you being on this platform with me today. So share with the audience who you are, what you do, what's your magic.
What's my magic? I love that. What a great question. My name's Loren Lahav, and first and foremost, I'm a mama of 3 beautiful children and a bonus mom to 1. And I'm a wife. I've been in the world of personal development for 33 years. I don't know, I wrote my first book 26 years ago. When you're not your everyday person was writing a book, and I had to figure it all out back then. And my passion is really helping people own their worth and stay true to who they are, and to be real and raw and right from the heart. What you see is what you get with me. There's no BS. And, I think that the biggest thing for me is letting people know just how much I care about them. I don't go so much deep into techniques. I want to know who they are and what really matters most to them.
And she's very humble because she's very impactful on the world stage. And what I appreciate about you most is your power and your femininity, as Anastasia very, eloquently pointed out earlier, that you have. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Anastasia, beautiful Anastasia, as you are, tell us a little bit about you and your amazing self and your magic.
Well, I believe my magic is just to share a little definition. What does it take to be a caterpillar with a strap-on wings or turning into a real butterfly? And I love the distinction, because lots of times we say, I know, but when we know, but we don't feel it, we don't really know it. So my passion and my magic is to achieve the results that people would like to have, and also to show them the way home, when home is their best selves. So then I'm Anastasia Cortez. I'm a results coach, trilingual, and I'm very passionate about also helping and helping people now currently who are affected by war, and giving them that internal strengths that helping them to deal with external challenges.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. So let's start with Loren. What's your problem today, and what's going on? and then just briefly, and so we can jump into the role play.
All right, Anastasia, here's my problem. You know me really well. And you know, my passion is helping women really come together and collaborate together. And I see so many people out there going and spending all this money, like creating their brands and doing this and doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why can't we just do it all together? We can like, it'd be so much more fun. And yeah, like, how can I help like get the message out there that collaboration is so much more fun to do it together instead of it feeling like people think that it's competition.
That's a great quality challenge. And my perception or my take on that people, if we ask now listeners, can you please send us a comment or put the hand up if you really like to give and help other people? And then the second question is, how are you feeling asking for help? And usually givers who like to give, usually they struggle and have challenges with actually asking for help. And I think that's limiting us women, coming together, because rather than viewing our other female sisters as competitors, we can actually step into the abundance feeling and understand that the life, the universe is so abundant, and we actually strengthen each other. Because imagine if it's like one tree or the forest, what has more power? And I've read about it, or I think I've watched a YouTube video, and they say, whatever you want to achieve, whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, whatever it might be, why don't you find 3 people that you're going to help absolutely for free, 40 days, complimentary, with that particular challenge? And somehow the universe works like it actually helps you when you're helping other people. And I think that's something that is very, very important for other women to understand, to comprehend, and to be aware of. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And, Loren is so giving. And, I don't know any person who would come to Loren and she would refuse, to help them. I've seen her after the event, absolutely exhausted, still helping and teaching extra content for 2 hours after the program finished. So this is just like shows you that when you care for people so much, the level of success, what Loren has achieved, it probably wouldn't be possible if she was alone. But it became possible because she helped so many other people.
So how do we get them all to come together? How do we get them to understand that like we're stronger? I love the whole example of one tree versus the forest. It's so beautiful with regards to that. So I would love like your steps of what you think what we could do so that they can understand the power of this collaboration.
So for example, we can do it like, like I love you and I believe in your message. So my task would be, I can start with myself, for example, spreading your message to 5-10 people I already know. And sharing, for example, I know next year you'll have another program, which is Own Your Worth, which is also available as a hybrid. So you can attend it in person in Las Vegas, and also you can attend it virtually. If you can't fly, for example, if you are in Ukraine or Russia or whenever it is and you speak English, and maybe I can be asking Loren, maybe there would be translation available in the nearest future, for example, in several languages, so we can make it even more accessible. So my task would be basically just to tell people, women, who, just to share the message. If you're afraid to ask for help, and if you are the women to competition, why don't you change your mindset and shift and actually, come to the program just, so we can all enhance each other. And, and people who would come with me to your program, they can do the same for people they know. And just, like an understanding, like whatever they want help with, like, it's like when I give something, for example, I always ask, like, do you want some tea? And people say, no, I don't want tea. I said, don't ruin my karma, because if like that will come back to me in 10 cups of tea, or it can, whatever, right? And when you reframe it like this, that people refusing to accept help, they're actually ruining my karma, people are more willing, oh, okay, then I'll take. If it helps your karma, I'll take anything. So that's probably the message we can deliver to these women. By supporting one woman, you actually, it will be a ripple effect. Or just one quick example. For example, when I didn't know how to help my daughter in the past, and she refused to have any help, I decided to go and serve youth leadership. and help other teenagers. And I didn't know how. I was thinking, but if I can help other kids and I can donate money on a regular basis to other kids or come back and give my time, somehow it will help my daughter. It took maybe 2 to 3 years. And, and now we probably have the best relationship we've ever had in the past. But it started when you can't help yourself immediately at this time, by helping somebody else, somehow it will help you anyway.
Awesome.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. So I'm going to start off with Loren. What was that for you right now?
Oh, she just made me happy. I just want to be around her. That's what I love. I'm just, and that's what I think in my life, that's what I look for, is how does that person make me feel? Whether it's a person that's as a waiter at a restaurant or someone I meet on the street. I mean, I think it's really important, especially in the coaching world, to find someone that that makes you feel, that they're going to give you a hug and they're also going to give you a kick in the butt, but just that you feel like you're in the right place, I think is a beautiful thing. So I love that. I love her metaphors. I think that's a really cool thing. And I love just her energy and just who she is and what she stands for.
Anastasia, what was that for you?
I just love Loren so much. You probably can feel it. I'm her biggest raving fan. And it probably started with just me seeing her shine. But my most favorite moment, me and Loren in the Gold Coast, we just lie down under the sunshine and we just laugh without the reason, any reason at all. Like there was no conversation, silence, and we just laughing like two little kids. And, and that's why I'm so passionate about Loren, who's, uniting so many women and helping and supporting them in business, relationship, community, whatever you want. And also badass mom, and she's also an animal lover. She's got the most beautiful dog, and she's got just all the qualities I genuinely admire in women and humans. So that's why
you both say some very, very important things. And I was actually having this conversation earlier, and the people that live the longest are the ones that have really solid relationships in their community. And it is all about community. It's all about having that awareness that you're not alone, that you're sharing the same problems that everybody else is sharing, but they just don't want to talk about it. And if you're not going to talk about it, you're not going to resolve them either. And so the fact that, you're wanting people to collaborate is also a sign of, people are scared. Nowadays there's so much fear in everything and they just don't feel safe. And I think in particular women, have even, more brain cells wondering, for their own safety, which is just natural. And so that's certainly heightened today. And what you're sharing with us right now is the beauty of having these wonderful relationships that you feel safe, that you can be vulnerable, you can share, what's deep inside of you, but at the same time, right, your ass is going to be kicked. And I think and appropriately, because your best friends, mind you, people need to listen to this, your best friend is the one that holds you to a higher standard. They're not going to let you play small. And what you guys have demonstrated is, and I don't know any of your backgrounds, but I know that you're superstars in the personal development field, which means that you've done tons of work on yourself and continue to do that as you keep on learning. And that's important for all of us. We need to have that growth mindset. We need to be open and learn from others.
Amen.
Amen. So what else would you like to share for any of those out there? What's a specific insight that you'd like to add? What's a specific action step? I know one for both of you. Reach out to you guys and go to your events and get coached. But what specific insights do you think that people need to take away from today? And what specific action step, whether aside of maybe reaching out to you guys?
I think just share. I think it is big. I mean, just open your mouth. I think it's a really big thing. I think that, this, Bart. I mean, and I've seen it a lot in this world, especially the health world, is that most people make themselves sick because they don't let it out. They don't tell everybody how they're feeling. They don't, they'll suppress it, or they'll they'll just take it all in, and instead of just like getting it out. And so I think that there's a real power in what you're doing here to play real life scenarios of what's going on with people and how people can literally make themselves sick by not talking about it. So because like, I mean, I say it all the time, like, I don't know, why don't people get it? Like, why don't people, we're doing this together, but at least I'm getting it out. Like Mary Glorfield, our dear friend, she said, you'll never have an ulcer, and I'm like, what does that mean? She goes, because you just let it out, and sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it's not pretty and I let it out, but at least like I'm not holding it in. So I guess the most important thing that I would want people to just say, just get it out, like just get it out so that you literally feel better, and ask for help. So,
letting it out is an important aspect of our lives, because as Byron Katie says, any pain that's within you is the work that you need to do. And so I think the first step is just letting it out and just be non-judgmental of what comes out. It might be messy, might be mean, but if you then take that final step to recognize and have the awareness, okay, what is this really about? And what is actually my work to do? I think so many people are in this victim mode and it's everybody else's fault, right? Well, no, it's not. Everything is actually your fault. You're in charge of your brain and your emotions. And who is it? The man searched for meaning. What's his name? Huh?
Viktor Frankl.
Frankl. He says the last freedom of man is to be able to choose your emotion or how you feel in any given situation. And that's true. You've got that power, and even more so because we've got all the tools and resources out there. And so for that, there is no excuse, to be stuck in that state, because there are so many people, especially like you guys, out there demonstrating all of that. Anastasia, I know you wanted to add something to that.
I was just thinking about it. I'd love to piggyback Loren, because depression, what it means, it's the lack of expression. So if we don't express, what happens? We compress. And when we compress, where do you think it all stores? It's in your spine, it's in your little system, it's in your nerve cells, it's inside of you. And then it's not a coincidence that illness, it's all about I. Wellness, it's all about we. And people who are depressed, they're self-obsessed. I've never seen a loving and caring, helping other people and say, oh my God, I'm depressed. And it's just like what we have to understand, what people don't get, I think. Like we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first, meaning, first get results full, and then when you're full, start helping other people. Unfortunately, what I notice all the time, people run themselves into the exertion and they keep helping when they don't have anything to give. And they feel like it's a selfish act, which in fact it's healthy. First, fuel yourself with good positive energy, your rituals, whatever makes you happy. And then from that full state, then you can look after other people, and they said, no, I have to put my children first. Well, really? Children will model you. Would you like to see your children, going in exhaustion every day? So that's just like my kind of 2 cents. Love yourself, put yourself first, and then care for other people.
I mean, there's this great woman author by Ayn Rand, and I think she wrote a book, The Art of Being Selfish, or something like that. And that's so true. Again, what we need to recognize is that you have one life to live. You're given a playbook that is running your life, only of which a part of it is in your awareness. And so it's entirely up to you to figure out what all that is, with the right kind of coaching, because ultimately you do deserve to have all of that. So I'd like to wrap it up, starting off with Loren. A final comment by you, and also how do people find you? And please mention your incredible event you just did and the one that's coming up.
So sweet. I love all the beautiful things that Anastasia shared. I wrote here, or maybe you said it. What is my work to do? I love that. That's a great question. I think that leaving this podcast right here, ask yourself that question and go do, what is my work to do? And ask yourself that question every day. I'm going to write it on a sticky note. I love it. I always walk away from whether I'm participating as, sharing on a podcast, or what lessons did I learn from that podcast. So I love that. And I love what Anastasia said as well, is that the we in wellness, and that depression is a lack of expression. So many great things that I've taken away from here. I can't wait to share with others. So that's the power of plugging in to these events. And how do you find me? You can find me at Loren, Loren Lahav.com. You can find me on Instagram. I am Loren Lahav, and YouTube, lots of stuff on YouTube for Loren Lahav. And we're doing the event, the Own Your Worth Experience. You can find out about how to come either virtually, which is just cray. We're like, it's amazing. We do translate in, the more people we have, the more we can translate. We translated the last event in 7 languages. So hopefully do it in 10. And then we have a studio, a live in studio here at the Worry Studio for 250 people. We've already sold out our VIP for next year, but come join us for Own Your Worth.
And I'm going to say, watch out, Tony Robbins, because here comes Loren. That is so cool. And I want to offer one slight nuance to what is my work to do, is recognizing that somebody else has their work to do and it's not yours. And so that was, I agree with you, Loren, that was a major shift in my thinking, because oftentimes as givers, we want to do everybody else's work, and we have to recognize that that's not always the case. Because therein actually is the question, what is my work to do, me not needing to do everybody else's work.
Love that.
Anastasia, final words, and how do people get a hold of you?
Right. So final words probably would be like when you wake up every morning, rather than asking yourself, oh, how do I feel? Do I feel depressed? Do I feel happy? Ask yourself a different question. What needs to be done? What needs to be done to fill yourself with energy? What needs to be done to shift your focus? What needs to be done to be productive, feel happy? Because then, you have a set of actions. Because if, I feel what I've noticed also, people, they usually feel low energy when they just don't have a vision. So a vision without action steps towards this vision, it's an illusion. It's a fantasy. And action steps without the vision, it's basically you're just like a rabbit in a hole, like you're not going anywhere. So you should have a vision with a clear steps. Also, Loren has an affiliate program. So if you are a woman and you would like to support other women, you can become an affiliate and actually, help other people and just share the gifts, share the joy, share the feminine power, share the sisterhood. So you can ask Loren for that. And also Loren is doing something really, really freaking cool. This is hydroponic towers. It's a juice plus company. And so like if you need some more veggies in your diet, you can, ask about the juice plus. But I'm very passionate about hydroponic towers. For example, if you're living in an apartment and you don't have your own gardens, and like in Australia, it's the most expensive city in the world, we don't like organic vegetables are freaking expensive. And you can actually save your cost by actually getting the hydroponic towers and grow it in your own freaking backyard on your balcony. And you have your own free veggies that are free of pesticides. And I think Loren was giving away even a coffee gift card if you get a hydroponic tower from her. So that's like an action steps. You can not only make money, you can keep yourself and your family healthy, and you can share the joy. So that's my 2 cents or $1.
It's
or
much more than that. So how do people find you?
And the people can find me on Instagram, on my YouTube, and also on my website, anastasiacortez.com.au. Thank you so much for listening.
And I love both your shares, because both of you have magic to share with others. So I'm so grateful that you're promoting Loren with that, so that people can reach out to her, because it is all about these tools and resources and options that I'm actually curating as well, because it's all about who do we believe? That's the big problem today. And that's been my plan for the last 20 years, is to have a branded sort of way to help people discern, the good stuff from the bad stuff. So thank you for doing all that. I just want to share a couple of things just to hone it in even further. When you buy commercially grown romaine lettuce, it has about 50 chemicals on it, 3 of which are considered carcinogenic. So using one of these hydroponic towers is incredibly helpful. And also you save money. And it's certainly, it's going to be a lot more healthy for you. 2 things I want to wrap it up. And both of you guys alluded to it. What fills you up? And too often we don't do that. And if we fill ourselves up as you're taking care of yourself as well, then that's such a wonderful thing. And the final thing, which I oftentimes bring up in this podcast, is simply this. You know, the language of our brain are our thoughts, the language of our body is our emotions. And so understanding that your thoughts lead to the emotions, which leads to energetic shifts in your body. And when you've got all these negative emotions going on, then it's going to affect energetically all your cells. And so finding that place where you can tap into being positive, you know, as Loren was sharing earlier, and how, you know, Anastasia is clearly showing up in her guidance, is really, you know, beneficial for us to always tap into that. And one last final story: when I was a resident in general surgery, when most practically all the residents with the failure to express were depressed, and the psychiatrist who did the wards and did the rounds was always confused by me because I always seemed to be happy. And so I made a choice. I didn't express myself, but I made a choice not to be depressed and overworked and all that. So mindset is key. And that's one thing these two human beings that are so absolutely amazing can teach you as well. So once again, I am Dr. Bart Rademaker. This is the Doctor's Guide podcast, raw and unfiltered. I really do hope that you take away some insights and action steps. And if any action step you want to take is reach out to these two and start changing your life. Thank you so much, Loren and Anastasia, and we will be back.